east of the sun and west of the moon. In a cold northern land, where the winters were long and the nights were dark, there once lived a poor family. The father worked hard, but no matter what he did, he could barely earn enough to feed his children. Among the children, the youngest daughter was different. She was the most beautiful of them all, kind, gentle, and with a spirit as bright as the northern lights. One evening, when the snow lay deep on the ground, a great white bear came walking up to their house. He was taller than a man, with shining fur and eyes that seemed almost human. The bear spoke in a deep voice. "Good evening to you. If you give me your youngest daughter, I will make you rich. Your house will never lack food, warmth, or gold." The family was terrified. A talking bear was strange enough, but to give away their daughter? The father hesitated, but the bear's promise was tempting. No more hunger, no more poverty. At last, the girl herself spoke. "If my going will help my family, then I will go with you," she said bravely, though her heart was trembling. So the next morning, the white bear returned. The girl kissed her parents and brothers goodbye, then climbed on his broad back. The bear carried her far, far away until they reached a grand castle made of shining white stone. Inside, there were endless rooms filled with silver and gold. Servants waited on her, food appeared whenever she wished, and every comfort was hers. By day, she wandered the halls, amazed at the beauty around her. But at night, when she lay in her bed, a man would come silently to her side. She could not see his face, for the room was always dark, but he was gentle and kind. Still, she wondered who he was and why she was never allowed to see him. Time passed, and the girl grew used to her strange new life. She was not unhappy, though her heart often longed for her family. One day, she asked the bear if she might visit home. "You may," the bear said, "but promise me this. Do not listen to your mother's advice, whatever she may say. If you do, you will bring great misfortune upon us both." The girl promised, and soon she was standing once again at her family's door. They welcomed her with tears and joy, amazed at her fine clothes and healthy face. That night, as she sat with her mother, the old woman leaned close. "My child," she whispered, "who is this stranger you sleep beside? You must know the truth. Take a candle to bed with you. Light it after he has fallen asleep, and see with your own eyes who he truly is." The girl remembered the bear's warning, but her mother's words gnawed at her heart. At last, curiosity won. That night, back in the castle, she took a candle into her room. When the mysterious man came and lay down beside her, she waited until his breathing grew steady. Then, with trembling hands, she lit the candle. The flame revealed the face of the most handsome prince she had ever seen. His hair was golden, his features strong, and his expression peaceful in sleep. Her heart swelled with love, but in her awe, a drop of hot wax slipped from the candle and fell onto his shirt. The prince stirred, opened his eyes, and saw her standing there. "You have destroyed us both," he said sadly. "I was under an enchantment. By day I was a bear, by night I was myself. If you had waited 1 year without knowing, I would have been free. But now I must leave you. I am bound to a troll princess who lives east of the sun and west of the moon. There I must marry her." The girl's candle slipped from her hand, and the castle walls trembled. Suddenly, everything vanished. She was left standing alone in the cold wilderness, the snow biting her skin. But though despair filled her heart, she clenched her fists and lifted her chin. "I will find him," she whispered. "No matter how far, I will find him and break this curse." And so her long journey began.
The girl stood in the snowy wilderness, her heart heavy but her spirit unbroken. She knew she had to find the prince, no matter how far or how impossible it seemed. She began walking across mountains and valleys, through icy winds and forests of pine. For many days and nights she wandered, asking everyone she met, "Do you know the way to the castle, east of the sun and west of the moon?" Most people shook their heads, for no one had ever heard of such a place. But the girl never gave up. At last, she came to a small hut on the edge of a cliff. Inside lived an old woman with kind eyes. The woman listened to her story, then shook her head. "I do not know the way," she said, "but take this golden apple. Perhaps it will help you. Go to my sister. She lives farther east. She may know more." The girl thanked her and set off again. At the second hut, another old woman listened to her tale. "I do not know the way either," she said, "but take this golden carding comb. It may help you. Go to my sister. She lives even farther east." So the girl traveled again until she reached a third hut, where a third old woman gave her a golden spinning wheel. "I cannot tell you the way," she said, "but I know someone who can. Go to the east wind. Perhaps he will carry you." The girl hurried on and found the east wind. He was wild and fierce, blowing so hard that the trees bent low. "I have never been there," the east wind said, "but go to my brother, the west wind. He is stronger than I." The west wind was kinder, but he too shook his head. "I have never flown that far, but the south wind might know." The south wind was gentle and warm, but she too could not help. "Go to the north wind. He is the oldest and strongest of all." When the girl reached the north wind, he roared like a storm, shaking the mountains and seas. "I have been there once, and it nearly cost me my life. But if you are brave, I will take you." "I am ready," said the girl. So the north wind lifted her on his back, and they flew. Over oceans, mountains, and endless lands they soared. The wind blew so fiercely that the earth shook below. At last, exhausted, the north wind dropped her at the gates of a dark, forbidding castle. Inside, the troll princess was preparing to marry the prince. He stood pale and sad at her side, unable to resist her power. The girl slipped into the castle, holding tight to the golden apple. She offered it to one of the troll princess's servants. "I will give you this if you let me spend a night with the prince," she said. The servant agreed. That night, she sat by the prince's side whispering to him, but he was under a spell so deep that he did not wake. On the next night, she traded the golden carding comb for another chance. Again she whispered to him, but still the spell held strong. On the third night, she offered the golden spinning wheel. This time, the prince stirred. Her words reached him. He opened his eyes and saw her. At last, he remembered her love and their promise. Together they made a plan. The next morning, when the troll princess announced the wedding, the prince spoke. "I will only marry the one who can wash this wax stain from my shirt." He pointed to the mark left by the candle long ago. The trolls tried one after another, but the stain only grew worse. At last the girl stepped forward. With a single touch, the stain vanished. The trolls screamed with rage, but their power was broken. The castle shook, and the trolls were swept away, never to be seen again. The prince turned to the girl, joy shining in his eyes. "You have saved me. Now we shall return home, and never again will we be parted." And so, east of the sun and west of the moon, their love triumphed over magic, trolls, and despair. They returned together, and from that day forward, they lived in peace, with hearts strong and free.